Yo, I'm under the bus again. Here I am. But today we're going to be addressing the water fill. We've got this, it's a city water inlet, so it's got a pressure reducing valve in it. It can handle pressures up to 125 PSI and reduces it down to 50 PSI. We're not going to be using it in the capacity as a city water fill, which bypasses the tank, skips the pump, and would be tied in before the filters. That's what city water fill would be. Gravity fill typically is used for these tanks, but I don't know. This is a nice inlet, and it's got a nice little hose end, female hose end that you could put a garden hose up to, like this Flexilla right here, which is used for potable water. So originally I was gonna have this installed in this compartment back here, but the reason why I'm not gonna have it installed in that compartment is because I would have to open this compartment right here to see the water level as we're filling it up. So to combat that, I'm not gonna put this in that compartment. I'm gonna put it probably right about here in this compartment. So I've got some hose for potable water right here that will connect to this inlet. We'll take this temporary one off because I was just shoving the hose end in there so that we could fill our water tank. Today is the day to actually get this installed. So let's get to work. All right, first things first, let's remove this guy here, our temporary water fill. There we go. That served its purpose well while we were using it. And this guy here is going to end up getting this guy's hose clamp. Thank you for your service. And this end looks fine. So I'm gonna slide this around here and then put this guy over this. And this guy will get tightened. Let's see. There's the end right there. All right. So this. See if we get that curled up there. Ideally, we won't have a P-trap situation because this should be able to just make a nice turn right about there and then just kind of go down in the tank. Got some of this Teflon tape. Got a threaded fitting. There we go. All right, so next I've got a few fittings that need to all kind of connect together. This one's gonna be able to connect. Oh, will that fit in? Oh, it does. Look at that. There we go. That one will squeeze together like that. There we go. All right, that went in real nice. Now let's get a little bit on the other side. I think we might have to do the actual fitting or the pipe this time. So this piece here was a 45 elbow that I cut the 45 head off because its diameter is a little bit bigger than that elbow there, and it'll actually fit into the inside diameter of the pipe here. And then once this dries, we'll be able to get an elbow on this also, because this piece is going to basically connect like that, kind of at a downward angle on the back side there with this elbow here. So we'll cut it up and see how much we need from that. All right, I got all the pieces. So this elbows go here, this will go here, and then this will go into here, like that. So let's glue these on one by one. Typically I put it on the female side, but this little pom-pom on this PVC cement's massive. So I'm not, nice little twist and push. And while that one's being held together, get this other one cemented. There we go. And then I'm gonna wait to attach it to this piece until I figure out what angle I want it to come down at, because this is all twisted on. So I'm gonna let those dry for a couple minutes first. All right, so I want this guy to be probably right about there. I'll dry fit this here on the side, and whoop. So if this is here on the side, then that'll be out of the way so that we could still access the water hose and use that spot for the water hose access. So it just needs to hang down a little bit. And then I also want a little spot for a faucet. Now that we've got that cut out, let's go ahead and make some measurements so that'll be broke right there. We have 45. Let's see, this needs to be 1/2 inch. Alright, so there is the design. So now we're going to fold over both of these corners and then break this top edge, and then we'll be ready to cut holes and then mount it up. There we go. That feels pretty solid. Now we can go and mount this up underneath. But first we're going to drill the holes and get those two pieces mounted. Back to the other barn. All right, now that we have our little bracket made, I want to get both of these mounted on the front. Oh, here's that hose bib that I was talking about that I want to mount on there, just so that we can have a little garden hose action, a short length for cleaning like filters or cleaning tools, something that it'll be on the pressurized side of the pump, but will be before the filter. So this will be just tank water essentially. Now this city water inlet came with some sort of aluminum bracket. I'm gonna start by drilling out the rivets on that guy. There goes that. Drilling out the rivets on that guy because I don't wanna use that bracket. I just wanna use it on my bracket here. So let's drill those out real quick. There we go. That was fairly painless. So now we have a template to go by. We'll put this guy here. There we go, got the template for that guy. And then we'll get this guy's template here in just a second. right, got that up in there. Now time to connect this hose to the back of the city fill. This thing is like a little finger trap. Seems to get tighter and tighter. As I push that on, which is good, but it did not rotate as far as I need it to. All right, so we'll let the PVC cement set up completely before we test out the water. And we probably won't test it out until a couple days from now because we still have about 2/3 of a tank or so. But all of that went on really good. And then we'll plumb this guy up another day. But now the inlet is available and we don't have to use our janky little setup that we were using once upon a time, which is really nice. Real nice, real nice. And I'm specifically having this hose go on a downward angle the entire time so that it self-drains and self-empties because I don't want water to stay up in this. It can come up to this level, but I don't want it to come up and put back pressure on the fill because I don't want that to be leaking. But it could come up to be completely full and then it'll stop right about here. So all right, it's the next day and it's filling. Look at that, no drips at all. It's doing excellent. So we just have the hose hooked up right there and hose hooks up here and then the water goes through and into the tank. No leaks, I'll call that a win. Okay, the next thing I want to check off the list today is securing the water heater. So even though it is on a cleat on the back, so it doesn't move around, if we hit a bump, this weighs, just the water alone is like 50 something pounds. That could cause it to bounce up. And so I was thinking of putting a ratcheting strap across the top to hold it down, and then maybe one across the front. So Erin and I were talking about it, and I think that this is the direction that we want to go. So we've got some ratcheting straps. We also found a couple of anchors. So these D anchors and a few old bolts from the bus with some washers. So I think that putting this strap together, we can have one come across the top right here and then come down and then one go across the front to the same anchor point. So if we put the anchor point kind of towards the middle. That should work well. So let's get to drilling a hole. Nice. There's one. All right, the first one went pretty good. The next one is gonna be a little challenging. So it has to be right back there. So I'm gonna try to get my hands back there. Not sure if I'll be able to show you. I'll film. You could hang out with me, be my friend, and maybe show some encouragement, because my hands are big and these are tight spaces. So this has to be 7 inches up, at least that's how high I'm putting it. And so I'm gonna put a little dot with my pen at where 7 inches is at. There we go. Nothing scientific about that. That just so happens to be the spot that works best. All right, we got our washers, our bolt, our D-ring, and we're gonna drill a hole now. All right, I'm gonna have to extend the bit because I'm out of room dimensionally. There we go. Nice, got through. So now let's see if we can position this D-ring similar to the other one, or if you'd have a better view from behind. Oh, you might have a sneaky view. I'll zoom in for you. And you watch the action. There we go. There's that part. And this next part's gonna be tricky. Yes. So now I just need impact drive. Probably gonna do this one right here. There we go. Great job participating on the audience. All right, next up I have 2 ratcheting straps. That one is kind of questionable. Might go straight across with that one. So let's get this one out of the way. And we'll hook this one back here. Thread this one through. Nice. So I don't want to get too tight, but I want to keep it. So let me, I need to go over this barrel one full time. So I'm going to loosen it just a little bit so I can get a little bit more around the barrel. There we go. Typically on ratcheting straps, you want to have one full revolution minimum. There we go. I might put, I'm going to loosen this and put something to protect the plastic from the metal real quick. A little piece of rubber or something. All right, I'll be right back. If you remember, when we built our bed, we put carpet underneath. Well, we have a little bit of that carpet left. I'm going to use this as like a little pad. So I'm going to cut a little piece. Because it's a nice rubbery on the back side. Or plastic-y. Open this a little bit more. There we go. And that should protect that spot there. And then we'll bind all this up and throw a little cable tie around it. And then the next one is going to go over the top. Also need one for here. There we go. That ain't going nowhere. I'm leaving these ratcheting straps full length and just rolling them up instead of cutting it, because if I ever decide to make a different style of bracket, then these ratcheting straps can be used elsewhere. So always gotta be thinking ahead. You never know what you're gonna need stuff for. Gonna have to check this one off the list because the water heater is now secure. Yeah.